Hey guys, me here, Mr. Plays with another video, and today, well actually a few weeks ago, Joe Park, he requested I do a video reading the entire zombie storyline, and I was like, yeah, because I actually do have it with me on my laptop, because I actually did it for, some homework for school, so I've got it all written down. It took me ages to do this, and this video is going to be pretty damn long. So it's going to be both the original and alternate timeline in this video. And a few notes before we begin, why we will not be including any of the comics, because I haven't read them yet. Oh, I have read them, but like we don't know if they're considered canon or not. And this is of storyline. This timeline is of storyline, not release date. So let's begin. So the year is 1918, and the map is Origins. Origins is the start of the timeline and starts an alternate timeline. Yes, we're dealing with an alternate timeline already. During World War I, a German girl called Samantha Maxis, who was stuck in this dimension called the Ether, goes back through time to tell her father, a German working for a secret group called 935, she tells him about this new element. She told him where to dig and find it. He and his partner, Dr. Edward Richtofen, found this element and named it Element 115, a very creative name. They find out that it can raise the dead. They also make a revive kit, which, in the unlikely event that a zombie attacks a German soldier, they can heal him with no problem whatsoever. They decide to use it to ensure Germany's ultimate victory in the war. They had also constructed 3 100-foot robots, which they would also use. 3 foreign soldiers were sent to investigate these robots. Their names are John Tank Dempsey, who's American, Nikolai Blensky, Russian, and Takeo Masaki, Japanese. Maxis commanded that they dig for more 115. Whilst digging, they unleash a great evil. We'll get to that later. And they lose control of the zombies and they start attacking the Germans. Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo contain the outbreak to the dig site. They are forced into a room where they see Richtofen over by a table lobotomizing an infected Maxis. The trio attempt to take down Richtofen when a horde of zombies attack and are forced to work together. They find a way to teleport themselves into the ether and create 2 versions. A version that is teleported into the future 2.0, and that's around the 1940s, and one that doesn't, 1.0. Maxis also gets a 1.0 version, but his 2.0 version is a lobotomized brain in a drone. Okay, so the next map is Mob of the Dead, year 1933. These four gang members, Salvatore Saldaluca, Michael Finn O'Leary, Billy Handsome, and Albert the Weasel Arlington, are arrested and put in Alcatraz prison. Al has come up with a plan to escape the island by using a makeshift plane. They manage to escape their cells, but they soon begin to argue and they never build the plane. Sal, Finn, and Billy lured Al to the roof and they murdered him with makeshift weapons. The prison guards found out and they sentenced the 3 gang members to death via electric chair. Once these souls reach hell, Satan, or that great evil, more later, decides to torture their souls by making them relive their deaths, but with zombies. He puts them in an infinite time loop that will never be broken. That was the plan anyway. Cerberus, the 3-headed dog, saw pity on these souls and decided to help them. He was not powerful enough to break the loop by himself, however they could break the loop and put their souls to rest if Arlington killed the other gang members. To help them on their journey, Cerberus gave them the Hounds of Retriever. This was the tomahawk that would always return to its user, like a boomerang. Breaking the loop involved them creating the plane and dying on the Golden Gate Bridge 3 times. Once they did this, their souls were set to peace. The next map is Challenge of Evil. The year is somewhere in the 1930s, predominantly after Mob of the Dead, but no specific year. And this was also pre-World War II. So, it's set in the fictional morgue city where this great evil, called the Shadow Man, has witnessed the sins of 4 people, Floyd Campbell, Jessica Rose, Noah Blackstone, and Jack Vincent, and has sent them into an alternate Earth. He infects this world with zombies and tells these 4 people that to return to their own universe they have to complete 4 rituals using an ancient artifact called the Summoning Key. To do these rituals you need objects that relate to each person. Once you collect these objects, these beings called gatekeepers try to stop you. After they complete them, they found out that the Shadow Man had lied to them and has brought these creatures called the Apothecons, which are creatures who devour universes in order to stay in their hunger. Now I see why the Keepers wanted to stop you. The group decides to kill the Shadow Man. They succeed in doing this and trap his stolen summoning key. Soon after doing this, 2.0 Richtofen uses an interdimensional rift to steal the summoning key from the keepers. Richtofen left and the group went back to the normal Earth. 1940s, during the war. Now it's Nocturne Toten. It's a old World War II Nazi-controlled airbase. American soldiers are trapped by Nazi zombies who are rising due to Element 115 being in the area. They find a box that gives you random weapons called the Mystery Box. They also find this futuristic weapon called the Ray Gun that was inscribed by a Dr. Porter. They manage to hold out for a while, but they start to get overrun. With no way out, they are trapped by. With no way out, they are trapped. But one of them gets trapped, and the zombies start to devour him. The other three make their escape. When one more went down, two of them left. As they were making a break for the exit, the third goes down. Only one survives and finds a nearby platoon of soldiers, and they manage to contain the infection. The US military want to run experiments on the and uncover the secret, so they go to an old German research center. Yeah, 1940s map Verrückt. Verrückt is an old Nazi-controlled insane asylum where Group 935 did research till they abandoned it for an unknown reason. They found out that Group 935 had created these liquids that affect you in some way. They were Juggernog, increase your natural health by 250%. Double tap root beer, increase your fire rate. Speed cola reloads faster, and quick revive can revive people twice as fast if they get infected. They're called perk drinks. After a while of testing, the asylum gets overrun. 4 soldiers, Tank Dempsey, Banana, Smokey, and Peter McCain, are trapped and are forced to hold off while rescue comes. Smokey and Banana get killed very early on. Tank and Peter manage pretty well until Tank gets kidnapped by some Nazi scientists, which includes Richtofen and Maxis. Peter informs his commanders about what happened to Tank. Knowing Tank the best, the US military use Peter as a spy. This is the last major role Peter plays. For now. Mwahaha. Yeah, 1940s. Now we've got Shinonuma. Shinonuma is a Japanese research facility for Group 935, where the Nazis experimented the effects of Element 115 on living humans. Dr. Richtofen and Dr. Maxis are testing the effects on Tank Dempsey, Nikolai Belensky, Takeo Masaki, and an unknown Mexican. The experiments caused the Mexican to die very early on. At this research facility, Richtofen creates the Wunderwaffe DG2, and the effects of 115 on the other three consist mainly of memory loss. Whilst they've lost quite a bit of memory, they still remember their names, their loyalty. For example, Tank still remembers his name and squad but nothing else. Nikolai still remembers his wife but nothing else, and during the experiments he had got an unhealthy addiction to vodka, and Takeo still remembers his loyalty to the Emperor. When the experiments had been completed, 115 had leaked into the swamp and had raised the corpses of dead Japanese soldiers. They attacked the 935 scientists and they became infected. Dr. Maxis abandoned Richtofen and the test subjects and made his escape back to Germany. Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai and Takeo forced to work together to escape. After they make it out, Richtofen cryogenically froze the other test subjects and took them to the Nazi research facility. During the war 1940s, we have Der Ries. Now Der Ries is another 935 research facility in Germany. Dr. Marx decides, for whatever reason, to bring his daughter Samantha and her dog Fluffy along with them. Before Richtofen was presumed dead in Japan, he created the monkey bombs. The monkey bombs were used by throwing them, they attract zombies, and then they blow them up. Yeah, during his time at Der Ries, Maxis creates the teleporters and the pack-a-punch machine. Richtofen arrives at Der Ries. He commands all of the Nazis there to evacuate, and Richtofen, being in his high status, they obey. When Richtofen finds Maxis working on one of his teleporters, Richtofen locks him, Samantha, and their dog Fluffy in the teleporter. He then activates the teleporter, and they get teleported. The teleporter, however, isn't compatible with animals, so Samantha and Maxis are teleported into the ether, and Fluffy and her unborn puppies are going through time zombified. It was at this point that Samantha went back in time to World War I to inform Maxis about 115. After Richtofen does this, the research facility becomes overrun. Surprise, surprise. He awakens the test subjects and they hold off a while. Dempsey gets the Wunderwaffe and pack-a-punches it. Whilst they're all in the teleporter, he shoots it and he overloads the teleporter, sending them forward in time to the 1960s. Yeah, 1963, pre-assassination. Next map is 5. 5 is set in the United States military base known as the Pentagon. President JFK, Richard Nixon, Robert McNamara, however you fucking say it, and Fidel Castro are having a meeting there about the Cuban Missile Crisis. A few months before this meeting, US scientists found the mythical element that was mentioned in the war. It was element 115. They found it at an old Nazi research station in an abandoned theater. They also found Nova 6 gas, which was made an illegal biochemical weapon by the US. And the US thought that they had created it first. They assumed the Nazis had created it first. In this theater that was in Germany, they also found these humans in canisters that contained Nova 6. The humans didn't bubble or decay or anything like that. These humans didn't have eyes, ears or noses, no hair. All that was on their face was a giant mouth with razor sharp teeth. The US took almost half these canisters along with 115. They brought it back to the Pentagon to do experiments. However, the humans of the Nova 6 gas started attacking the scientists after weeks of being dormant. These humans were zombies. After they infected the scientists and the staff, they soon made their way to the president's meeting with the Cuban Prime Minister. JFK, however, has been prepared for this. He had hidden guns on the walls of the office. They ran out of ammo quickly and only had M1911s left. They made their way out of the office and found out that the power had been switched off. Unfortunately, the only way out was an emergency exit that required power. They rushed to the mainframe to turn it back on, but by doing this they alerted the Nova Crawlers, which are basically zombies but with Nova 6 around them. They're very fucking annoying. They rushed to the exit when all of a sudden the comm system came on saying that there was an intruder. Suddenly a man teleported in front of them and saw their guns. They debated whether they should go after him, but they decided to run for the exit. As soon as they did that, JFK called in more soldiers and Fidel Castro did the same. The Pentagon was disinfected and all traces of 115 and Nova 6 had been eradicated from US soil. However, since nobody told JFK about that theatre in Germany, 115 and the undead are still there. In 1963, a few weeks after 5, Kingdom to Totem, aka Cinema of the Dead, is next. By the way, this is the same theatre as mentioned in 5. After Tank overloaded the teleporter, they travelled forward in time to the 1960s. Whilst here, Richtofen is shocked to find out that there was another Group 935 research station that he didn't know about. Soon after, they realise that they are not alone and that there are hordes of the undead on their way. Richtofen rewires the teleporter so that it gets fixed. They manage to escape the theatre of the damned, but not before they see Nova Crawlers. When they teleported, Dempsey and Niccolo and Takeo had no idea where they were going. Richtofen, however, knew exactly where they were going. He had a plan. Year 1960 is no specific year given. Map is Ascension. In the abandoned Soviet Cosmodrome, a man named Dr. Gersh discovered the teleportation elements of 115. Using this, he created the Gersh device. Gersh's partner Yuri Savulsky, I can't fucking pronounce it, guys, was working on the Gersh device until Gersh transferred his main focus to rockets. He kept going on about how he needed to send monkeys into the atmosphere. Once he did it, it was discovered that 115 was in space and it mutated the monkeys. They had the ability to take away the perks from the Perca-Colas. Dr. Yoi found Max's diary from Dervis. Whilst reading, he found out that 115 was what was really capable of. He kept trying to tell Gersh about this, but Gersh wouldn't listen. Yori started doing his own work on the Gersh device. The Gersh device acts as a temporary portal that leads you to a random location. However, due to the lack of volunteers, Yori decides to test the Gersh device on himself. Once he does this, he is instantly transported into the ether, and he meets Samantha. And I forgot to mention this right now, but since Dervis, Samantha was in control of the zombies. You'll realise who she is and tries to escape, but Samantha took control of him. She is using him as a way to get into Earth. Fortunately, Samantha hates anyone experimenting with 115, except her father. After a while, Gersh noticed Yuri talking to himself. Samantha was in control most of the time, however, there were times when Yuri took control. He kept begging, Gersh noticed that he kept begging someone called Samantha to leave him alone, but he just thought he was being a bit cray-cray. Soon Samantha took her anger to the extreme. She controlled Yuri and made him take a Gersh device into Dr. Gersh's lab. She made him activate it and suck Gersh in. By doing this, Sam lost control of Yuri and Yuri weren't messing. Or maybe he teleported into the Pentagon a few months back and stole the president's gun. wink, wink, wink. So yeah, wink, wink, wink. After Gersh was taken care of, Samantha uses 115 to make the zombies attack the Russian scientist. Soon after this happened, Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio arrive. Soon after arriving, the group find out what had happened. They had managed to free Gersh. This angered Samantha, and the group plus Gersh narrowly escaped. Gersh remembered Richtofen from Max's journal and decided not to continue with the group. Samantha, being angry, activates another one of Gersh's device, but not the Gersh device, and overloaded the teleporter. The group were once again sent to an unknown time. Year 1965. Call of the Dead is the next map, and is also George A. Romero's new film that he's directing. He's filming the movie on an old World War II carrier ship that Group 935 used to deliver Element 115. Prior to the film being made, George did some research on Group 935 when he was making a World War II film. This is why he decided to make Night of the Living Dead. He was obsessed with the Nazis' research on raising the dead. He casted Robert Englund, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Danny Trejo, and Michael Rooker. However, the film sets got contaminated with 115 and is now infested with the undead. George A. Romero gets turned into a zombie. The actors try to survive when they hear voices of a German, American, and a Russian. In the background, a Japanese man was throwing up. This is, of course, our original group. They were trapped in a metal room with a locked door. They asked the actors for help. Richtofen told them that they needed to get to Paradise, aka Shangri-La. He wanted to come to this facility however, so he could get the golden rod. He got the celebrities to get it for him. They, however, had no idea what it was. After Richtofen fixed the teleporter, he thanked the celebrities by giving them a wonder waff to help them fight. The celebrities managed to escape, and they cured George. Oh, that's nice. Year 1960s, no specific year given. Shangri-La, aka Paradise. So this does not live up to its name, however, as all of its inhabitants have been zombified. Richtofen says that this is one of the last places he needs to go before he can reveal his plans to the group. This place also has a turn of 115 and used to be a mining facility for Group 935. Before the group arrived to Shangri-La, two explorers, Brock and Gary, went on an expedition to see if their theories on Agartha, or the Ether, whatever you want to fucking call it, were true. A while after they arrived, Brock figures out that the temple wasn't built by an ancient civilization, but by people in the modern era trying to impersonate it. After investigating even further, the pair accidentally activate the temple's time travel mechanism and are put in an infinite time loop and keep dying and being brought back to life. Richtofen and the group manage to go back to save the pair, and in return they tell Richtofen how to build a device called the Focusing Stone. Richtofen places it on the altar, and the Focusing Stone is complete. With the Golden Rod and the Focusing Stone, Richtofen can complete his plan. Year 1965. Moon is the next map, and is where Richtofen plans to set off his big plan. The group travelled to Area 51, where there's a teleporter to a secret moon base. However, freaking Area 51 has freaking Element 115, so all of the freaking soldiers are freaking zombies. They gamble with the teleporter, as teleporters don't usually work for them. However, today was their lucky day. They teleported right to Lunar Base 109 or Griffin Station. It also serves the purpose of being a laboratory on the moon. As soon as they arrived there, they realized that for some reason America also wanted to test the effects of 115, and that all of the freaking staff are freaking zombies on the freaking moon. Come on guys, leave the goddamn thing alone, it's caused enough damage. Once they are here, they find an obelisk containing the soul of Samantha. Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio are told that if they kill Samantha, then the zombies will stop and everything will be normal. Once they freed her, they Richtofen transports his soul into Samantha's body and vice versa. However, before this, Samantha tries to warn them of the Shadow Man, or a great evil that is trapped in the ether and trying to escape with her. Yeah. Samantha's soul is in Richtofen's body. Okay, so due to Richtofen being in Samantha's body, he's now in control of zombies. This is when their eyes change from orange to blue. His plan is to take over the world by using the zombies to do his bitch stuff. He's basically trying to be Hitler 2.0. Well, he is a Nazi, so kind of makes sense. After the group realised, after the group realised that they've been duped, Samantha tells them that there is a way to stop Richtofen. What they have to do is launch some of the moon's nukes at the Earth and blow it up. Richtofen's plan has been foiled. The other three return to Earth and see it in a state of panic. The explosions have completely destroyed the Earth, where while life remained, there was lava everywhere, and most people were zombies. The main group left each other and died shortly after. Or, if my theory is correct, they are now in the ether. But let's just say that they're dead. Okay? Let's just say they're dead. So the year is 1965, and this map is happening at the exact same time as Moon, like in fucking sync. The map, guys, is Nuketown Zombies. So yeah. The map is Nuketown Zombies. During the 60s, the US government were doing nuclear tests for nukes, obviously, for preparing for the Cold War. They built multiple test sites. One of them was a small town to see how the nukes affected, you know, towns and cities and shit. After they launched the nuke, the US Army discovered element 115 into the test site. They sent multiple scientists and soldiers to retrieve that element. However, the first wave of scientists didn't have hazmat suits on, all but one of them got infected and turned zombies. The one that survived was a man named Martin Johnson. He survived by going into the bunker that was there. He used what little battery in his walkie-talkie to contact Area 51 to rescue him. To contact Area 51 to rescue him, sorry guys. They said that they were going to rescue him, however they just wanted even more 115 to study. Martin told them that the reason why the other scientists got infected was because they didn't wear hazmat suits. Then they sent many more scientists and soldiers in, however they were ambushed by a horde of the undead. 2 scientists and 2 soldiers were left in a matter of minutes. They were surviving as long as they could when they got a transmission from Griffin Station. It was Richtofen and the gang releasing Samantha. They also heard Samantha's plan to blow up the Earth. They tried to hide in the bunker with Martin, however the door was jammed and could only be opened from the inside. Martin heard the screams and the bangs on the door as he tried to open the door, but because he was epic at maths, he calculated when the nukes were going to hit. He decided that if he opened the door and let them in, they would all die. He ran to the deepest part of the bunker. A few seconds later, he heard the nukes drop and the entire bunker shook. He passed out, never to be seen again. For now. Year 1965. After the map is Bus Depot, by the way, guys. Yes, these even have some storyline that I may have just made up. Shut up. After the nukes hit, a few soldiers in hazmat suits were trapped at a bus depot. There was rubble everywhere, and they were completely boxed in. They found this magic box that gave them weapons, aka the mystery box. They managed to scrounge enough power to contact the remaining government and told them their coordinates. The government were originally not going to rescue them, however they told them about the mystery box. They decided that the box was going to help them a lot against the zombie apocalypse. They sent a small unit to help the soldiers. After they rescued them, they decided to move the box to their base. They also designed a mode of transportation that would help them get around. It was an automated travelling vehicle that was made out of a bus. They installed the quickest way to the base, they picked up the box and moved on. Year 1965. After the army rescued the soldiers, they decided to let the bus recharge, so they had out at a farm. This is farm, by the way, guys. This, however, was a mistake, as they quickly got boxed in. All but 4 of the squad members died, and the bus launched into its emergency protocol, where it takes the long route back to the base. The 4 soldiers that were left managed to take the mystery box off the bus before it left. At this farm, they found some Coca-Colas. They figured that was an old Group 95 testing facility. They used the Coca-Colas, however, soon they realised that they could make an escape. This was by throwing several monkey bombs and sprinting away. They did this and they made their escape. Year 1965. Map Town. After escaping the farm, the soldiers found their way to their base, which was in a town. They found another mystery box and more Coca-Colas and a pack-a-punch machine. They decided to open up the vault in the bank and turn on the emergency door, which after this point will be open for a limited time and needs power constantly. After they brought the pack-a-punch machine down, they dropped it and broke it. They found a way to rebuild it but didn't have time. The town was blocked off, so they had to remove all of the rubble so the bus could get through. After they did this, however, they were ambushed and they all died. Yeah, 1965. Map Transit, aka the best map ever. Kill me now. So he transits a few months after town. Martin Johnson escapes from the shelter and makes his way into the town because, as he worked for the government, he knows about this secret base. Here he meets Abigail Missy Bryerton. By the way, the story splits in two parts: Richtofen and Max's side. However, they basically end the same way, so I'm just gonna follow Richtofen's side. Also, the farm may or may not have been Misty's farm that she grew up on. It's unclear whether that is, but fans just say it is because canonicity and shit. So yeah, whilst at the town, the two are being overrun until a man called Rustman, that's his whole name by the way, and Samuel J. Sullinger, who keeps hearing two German men argue in his head, aka Richtofen and Maxis, save them using an automated travelling vehicle made out of a bus. Does that sound familiar, guys? The group travel on the bus until they reach a bus depot. Samuel says that one of the Germans, Richtofen, has told them that he knows how to reverse this mess. He tells them that they need to go into an old power station and he'll give them more instructions after that. Whilst they are making a plan, the bus leaves them. Not wanting to be trapped, they decide to travel in the fog. They realise this was a mistake, as there were these mutant zombie creatures called denizens which jumped on your face and started to claw at your faces. They are little shits. Nobody likes you, denizens. Go kill yourself. Okay, sorry guys, it's just I've got a lot of denizen rage right now. Anyway, they escaped the denizens, however, and made it to the power station. Richtofen told them to turn on the power and that would release a creature called the Avogadro, an electric man or a zombie creature made out of electricity. Something bullshit like that. It's transit, what you expect. Richtofen commands them to trap it in an electricity pylon to activate electricity to the town. Richtofen has yet another plan. Again, he will not tell yet again not to tell the other participants, but because I am nice and smart, I'll let you on a little secret. He's activating rift generators across the world. Yeah, 1965. Diarise is the next map in the timeline. This is also the map where we find out how Stuliger communicates with Richtofen. It starts with the transit crew from America to China. This is where Richtofen wants them to be. The group gets separated early on with Stuliger standing on the ruins of a skyscraper. Richtofen tries to convince him to do his bidding and Stuliger refuses. Richtofen threatens to tell the other group members about the Flesh. The Flesh is a group / cult of survivors which eat the flesh of zombies. Most people believe that the Flesh was either A, inspired by Richtofen, B, were created because of Richtofen, or C, were created by the Shadow Man. I don't know why some fans believe that, but it's what some people legitimately believe. Whilst Richtofen and Sullinger are arguing, Sullinger gets surrounded by zombies. Rustman comes and saves him but dies. Shortly after, Stu gets saved by Martin and Misty and they escape in an elevator. When they reach the next floor, they all die. Richtofen, realizing that he needs them, brings them back to life to the moment before they got separated, but they don't have any memory of their deaths. He commands them to again turn on the power. They have to summon some ancient device that will help Richtofen turn on the power to the whole of China. This is another part of the rift that needs to be activated. They successfully added the power, however, Mexus starts to warn Stu that Richtofen is evil. However, Stu trusts Richtofen more, as you do. Yeah, voice crack, sorry guys. Yeah, 1965, Buried is next. After leaving China, the group have to travel back to America to activate the last rift generator. Richtofen can't teleport them there, however, because he has to, he can't teleport them there, however, because this rift generator will activate the portal to the ether and needs all of his energy for his big plan. It is located in an old Group 95 mining facility. They get there and realise that there's nothing there. Richtofen tells Sullinger how to power up the tower. Maxis is also telling Sullinger this, but Richtofen warns Sullinger about not trusting Maxis. After looking for a while, the group accidentally fall down a hole and get put into this old-fashioned western town that time forgot. The undead have completely taken over this town. In here they found this man called Leroy. Leroy locked himself in a jail cell. The community assume he locked himself in here to hide from the zombies, but it's unclear. Here they also find another weapon made by the mysterious Dr. Potter named the Reagan Mark II. Sorry, not the Mark III. The Mark III comes later, but this is the Mark II. Yay, Mark II. Yeah, so I was like, yeah. They also found this house where witches live. Yes. Fucking witches. They just decided to be like, fuck it. And they decided to steal your points, as you do. Yeah. You You can navigate this town by using the ground or going through the tunnels. Richtofen commands them that they need to build a guillotine. He says that this has to be parallel to the saloon. So it has to be parallel to the saloon. Richtofen then says that they need to use a weapon called the paralyzer to power up these orbs. Richtofen needs the group to collect souls. He commands them to use the lantern to go into the haunted house to collect souls. They then have to place the lantern on the gunsmith store to reveal a code. After the group have deciphered the code, they need to go to the signs, attain the tunnels with grav knuckles, and make this object called a wisp appear. The crew follow the wisp and lure it to the guillotine. They need to power it by giving the wisp the souls of zombies. Once they do this, Richtofen tells them that they need to get this device called the time bomb. Once they get this time bomb, they use it and get sent into the future for 9 seconds. Richtofen says that they need to find a switch in their dead bodies. The zombies are basically invincible after they grab the switch and place it in the guillotine. The group have to go into the maze and activate different switches and set up the power. The power is activated and Richtofen has unlimited power. Max keeps yelling at the group, telling them that they've made a mistake. Richtofen silences Max's by removing him from existence. Richtofen can now do whatever he wants. Since he can't get his body back, however, he occasionally takes control of Sulage's body. He then goes back on his promise to fix everything, leaving the world filled with zombies. This is the end of the main timeline. By the way, if you're wondering what happened if the group followed Maxis, he would have Max would have tried to get Samantha back, and Richtofen would be in a zombie's body for all eternity. Okay, now this is the alternate timeline. So I could either, read Buried and not Buried, Origins and Shadows of Evil again. Probably gonna do that, to be honest. Fuck it, I'm just gonna skip Origins and fucking Shadows of Evil because we've already done them. Okay, so just go back and watch Origins and Shadows of Evil if you can't remember. Okay, yeah, 1940s during the war. The Giant is the map, okay, and it's set at the same time as Doris. Side note: 2.0 Richtofen has been missing from the 2.0 group for about 2 years. 2.0 Dempsey, Nikolai, and Tokyo arrive, telling Richtofen to awaken the test subjects, aka their 1.0 selves. They also want him not to open the teleporter as there was a teleport evil in there. Zombies start to come, so they have to defend, leaving Dempsey with Richtofen. Despite their warnings, Richtofen opens the teleporter and 2.0 Richtofen steps out. Everyone except 1.0 Richtofen is shocked. 1.0 Richtofen stands and salutes his counterpart, however 2.0 Richtofen shoots 1.0 Richtofen in the head, killing him instantly. He then produces the summoning key and does something that you'll find out later to his body. The group then defend at the research station. They also find these machines described with the words Dr. Monty's Gobblegum, which had a similar effect like the pergolas. These will be present throughout the next 4 maps. Unknown to 2.0 Richtofen, in this universe they were producing more 100-foot giant robots. Not in this universe, sorry, my mouth isn't working. So yeah, it's revealed that here they're building more 100-foot giant robots for World War II. Richtofen says that they need to collect 1.0 Dempsey to save the universe. They decide to use a robot to do this. Yeah, 1940s during the war. Next we have to Eisendrache. After Richtofen and the group track down 1.0 Dempsey, they use the robots to help them get to his destination. They find out that some Nazis took the frozen body from the giant and have to do some more 115 testing in the research facility. Richtofen and the gang go after these Nazis. However, they use the Panzerschreck and blow up the robot. The robot broken, the group makes their way to the facility. Once they get there, they see that it's been overrun by zombies, and they also realise that Dempsey isn't there. Whilst here, the group discover that Group 95 have discovered how to turn off gravity. They also find out that the Nazis have a station on the moon called Griffith Station, which would later be under control by the United States. One of Richtofen's old friends, Dr. Graf, was up in the station monitoring everything that was happening. Even though he was a friend of Richtofen, Graf didn't work on the reanimating features of 115. They managed to locate 1.0 Dempsey. However, he's in a state of cryostasis. Before they awaken Dempsey, Richtofen says that he has one more thing to do. They use the summoning key in the anti-gravity room to transport to another dimension and battle a giant gatekeeper to gain control of the summoning key. When they return, Richtofen launches multiple nukes at the moon, knowing that Dr. Groff is still there, so that the events that the transit crew go through will never happen. And after they find 1.0 Dempsey's body, Richtofen uses the summoning key to freeze the other group members in midair. 2.0 Dempsey says that the job was to secure 1.0 Dempsey and that he never should have trusted Richtofen. Richtofen explains that the summoning key can be used to protect the souls of people but can only be used the moment after death. He explains that he's got a mission to collect all of their souls, hence why he killed his 1.0 selves. Dempsey says that he should be the one to kill him. Richtofen allows this, and 2.0 Dempsey shuts off the life support in 1.0 Dempsey's cryostasis chamber. After he does this, Richtofen collects his soul, they leave the facility and move on. Year 1940s. During the war, Tetsubo no Shima is next in the timeline. Side note, the power of 1.0 Nikolai and 1.0 Takuya's cryostasis tube ran out of power and they went their separate ways. Whilst on their way to their next target, the group are captured by some Japanese soldiers. They are kidnapped and taken on a boat to the far sea. Turns out that these Japanese soldiers have direct orders from the Emperor to collect the summoning key. Takuya tries to tell these men that he is one of the Emperor's personal guards, but the Emperor has the utmost respect for him. The soldiers ask for Takuya's name, and when he replies with Takuya Masaki, the guards look at him with a look of to discuss. The Japanese soldiers take the summoning key and are about to kill our heroes when they fight back and now regain possession of the summoning key. However, they accidentally burn down the ship and get washed up on an island inhabited by the undead. As the group fights on the island for a while, Richtofen finds a room where the Japanese are making artificial dragons. Richtofen burns the plans. They find 1.0 Takuya locked up in his cell. Once they rescue 2.0 Takuya wonders why the Emperor's top guard was being put through a fate worse than hell. 1.0 Takuya states that the Emperor was afraid that Takuya would one day challenge him and become the new Emperor of Japan. He told his soldiers that he had betrayed Japan and that he was a traitor. 2.0 Takuya was shocked at this. He then explains that they needed to kill 1.0 Takuya in order to give balance to the universe. He agrees to this and they kill him. Richtofen puts this on the summoning key. The only one now left is Nikolai. Year 1940s. We're nearly done, guys. During war, God Clorovy is the next entry in the timeline. After they killed 1.0 Takuya, Richtofen uses the summoning key to transport to Stalingrad. The portal opens from the sky. As they are falling to their deaths, Dempsey sees a soldier with a parachute. As they go closer, it's revealed that's original timeline Peter McKay. That's right, Peter McCain. That's right, the person who was Tank's best friend is the guy falling. They pull the chute and see a dragon. It turns out that in the original timeline, Dr. Groff commanded an attack on the research station from the moon, but Richtofen killed him on the moon before he could do this, so he couldn't destroy the plans before Richtofen did, as it took a few months to travel between the Eisenstrahl and Tetsubo no Shima. So yeah, they see 1.0 Nikolai in a mech suit killing zombies and dragons. The group land and 1.0 Nikolai sees them and tries to kill them. They take cover and 1.0 Nikolai is grabbed by a dragon and thrown into a building. The group have to find a way to avoid the dragon and kill Nikolai and survive the constant zombie onslaught. They find the third and final weapon made by Dr. Porter, fuck, I can't speak today, which is the GKZ-45 Mark III, which is basically the Reagan Mark III, which is a dual wood weapon. On the left hand, it's a gun that shoots an orange mist cloud, on the right hand, it's a really powerful ray gun. Shoot the laser into the orange mist creates a gush device effect, so you can get all the zombies in. After a while of killing zombies, they decide to kill the dragon. It takes much effort and a long time, and they successfully kill it, and soon after they do this, 1.0 Nikolai comes back, and 2.0 Nikolai explains the situation and says that he needs to kill him. 1.0 Nikolai, enraged, again tries to kill the group. They manage to destroy the mech suit, and they send Nikolai in to kill him. 1.0 Nikolai has one more trick up his sleeve. He tries to shoot 2.0 Nikolai with a handgun. This enraged 2.0 Nikolai and killed his counterpart in a flush of rage. He immediately regrets doing this. in a dishonorable way, wishing that he did it more respectfully. Once again, Richtofen gets the soul, but is relieved when he has collected the souls from Maxis. If it's revealed that he collected the souls from Maxis, he sends the souls up into the rift. A few moments later, a voice goes to everyone except Richtofen. The voice says that Richtofen had been winging it and had only recently come up with a plan. He says that Richtofen had been in the house for a while now and had only recently left. He says that they were going to be arriving at the house very soon. But the things feel that this voice is Dr. Monty. Okay guys, last map. Year unknown, because it's in another fucking dimension. This is Revelations. After killing 1.0 Nikolai, Richtofen uses the teleport and puts in the coordinates that Max has given him. They get teleported to an alternate universe created by Dr. Monty. They appear in the basement of a house. They meet Max and Richtofen, and Max destroy the teleporter as they see it as a danger to the universe. They also find their 1.0 souls as children in the house. They also see Samantha there. One, however, Max hears a voice. It lures him down to the basement and where the summoning key was. He picks it up and fades away. He accidentally threw the Shadow Man. The Shadow Man corrupted this universe by bringing in the Apothicons. Dr. Monty tells the group that they need to stop him. Whilst exploring, they find places from their most important achievements, e.g. Nocturne Totem, Kino Totem, Dark Eisendraw, Origins, etc. The only one that isn't accountable is Moon of the Dead. Anyway, the group are told by Dr. Monty that he is the one who created the mystery box and is the one who made the Pokecolas the most streamlined as it could. The group kill the Shadow Man and the universe is fixed as all of the Apothicons get killed by Maxis. Dr. Monty is about to wipe them from existence, however he sent them all way back to the Middle Ages, and that's the end of the zombie storyline until Chet makes the next game. Boom, motherfucker, I did it, Joe. Here you go, entire zombie storyline. It's a fucking pain in the ass, but I did it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, drop a like. In the comments, explode how much you do upload in the next episode. And as always, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. I've been your host, Mystic Plays, and goodbye.
I'm going to get there, and hope we will meet there. Going to get there, and hope we